Microwarpdrive active.
Hello my friends and welcome back to EVE Online with me, Mark from DadX, and we're going to run a level 4 mission again today. This one here, Recon 1 of 1. It's not a very taxing mission. I've looked at the guide. That's not the issue today. Exciting news is we have Tech 2 hams on the Drake Navy issue. We've also got Tech 2 medium drones, but that gives us 806 DPS, which is a nice chunk over where we were before. With the Metaphor launchers and the regular Scourge ammo, we were getting just under 560 DPS, so the Rage ammo was worth waiting for. But on the Tech 1 ham fit, we also had a rig to give us a boost to the DPS through rate of fire. Now we've gone back to tank, so hopefully we can get in closer, do a lot more damage and tank a bit more damage too. But today we're not going to be relying on that at all, so we're going to accept this mission. Not a lot involved. We're fighting the Serpentis. This ship is tanked full of Serpentis. I've got a thermal rig and a kinetic hardener, but today I have something even better than them, and that is a fleet mate in a Scythe, a shield Logi ship, minmitar flavour, which Dex Yetfar Nartepa is piloting today. Now right here you can see on the screen, I could call for shield reps off the fleet screen. For those of you that aren't too used to fleeting up and the mechanics, we'll maybe cover fleeting in a bit more detail another day. Let me know in a comment if you'd like to know more about that. I can't actually find a way to fleet warp to the mission objective. If there is one, let me know, because I really couldn't figure it out. So I'm going to warp up there, and then he can warp to me, because you can do that kind of thing when you're in a fleet. So this is a nice gentle mission. As a bit of background, it was kind of coincidence that he was in Dixie buying a Scythe, and I said, well, let's have a go at Logi on a level 4, let's see what happens. Now we had been told, and it was a good long time ago, that using Logi in PvE was a bit of a hiding to nothing, because the rats would instantly start aggroing fully on the Logi as soon as it started repairing the ship, and would get chased off, and it wasn't really worth the effort. You were better off just having more DPS and killing everything quicker, which is always a valid option maybe. But anyway, we thought we'd give it a go since he was here, so this isn't a very taxing mission. We didn't want it to be. First thing we want to know is basically, will everything aggro him just because he starts repping me? And there's only one way to find out. And in terms of things we've got told in EVE over the years, some could have just been wrong. It's never really mattered, because we've never thought to try this before anyway, to be fair. And some things do just change, so do bear that in mind. Something you knew to be true and that was true a few years ago may well just not be true today. A little bit like the people who comment that I must be faking my alpha videos because they've got Tech 2 blasters. Their info is about 6 years out of date. So this is kind of like Mythbusters, even if the myth was only hours. As you can see there, you do get the reps recorded on your screen as you would damage. So that's a nice way to know that you're being nursed. I'm going to head on into the room. I'm going to take a bit of aggro, get started. And then the Logi guy, Yetfar, is going to join me in there. As appropriate, I certainly want to get in the room first and get the aggro. And then we just want to see initially, as I said, if the aggro switches to him when he joins me. So I'll get stuck in, get a little bit of damage, and we'll see what happens. Right down at the bottom of the screen, highlighted in red, is my watch list, and Yetfar is my only fleet mate. I put him in there. You need to set that up manually. It's not automatic when you join the fleet. It enables you to keep track of any damage that your fleet mates are taking. I showed you the fleet screen at the beginning, which I've kept closed really just to avoid clutter, to be quite honest with you, and we don't need any comms because we're in the same room whilst we're doing this. But normally the Logi pilot would keep his eyes glued to that fleet window. That is where you broadcast for reps. You don't do that in voice chat. That is really the province of the FC to have the voice chat. You do everything through that fleet window. It is something you want to get used to navigating and keeping an eye out for. As we shall see a little bit later, there are other ways that you can interact with your fleet also. I'd like you to pay attention to how quickly we tear into this battleship with our Rage hams. It's very nice. 20-kilometer range. Again, we're really not taking much damage. I didn't think we would on this site. If this isn't a complete failure in that the Scythe just has to run away because it gets too much aggro for it, we'll be back trying this on a much more challenging site, I am sure. I would have liked this run to be a little bit more challenging, to be honest, but the mission rotation is random, and I don't want to keep declining them, and it is what it is. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. The first Megathron is almost down. These may not be the toughest, biggest, nastiest Scythe rats you're going to find in a level 4 mission, but they'll do. We're taking some damage. This was never going to be too much of a challenge. Not in this lovely Navy issue Drake. Anyway, and I'm very interested to hear from you guys. Is this something that any of you kind of regularly would do just as part of your mission running? You could obviously do this twin screening if you like. It might be a good way to learn a little bit of twin screening skills, because it's not as easy as people think it is, especially in a combat situation, I can assure you. We're also not sure what variables could be at work, and you guys might know that better than us. I mean, would it matter to the rats how much repping is being done? I don't think it would. That sounds a bit complicated to me, but it's possible. But we'll see. We'll see what happens as we run through the site. But I'm very happy with the Drake. I'm very happy with the Rage ammo. Since the close range Tech 2 ammos, when used in Tech 2 close range weapon systems like blasters, hams, rockets, etc., got quite a nice damage buff. The Golf is much more noticeable, and they are very, very worth training into. You've seen the kind of damage I can get out of those Alpha Destroyers, and this is just a bigger, badder version of that now. I like it. We've managed to get a few more rats on grid now. They are timed spawns on this site, so we shall switch over seamlessly to the Scythe. Here's Yetvar. He's just arriving on grid. He's going to get himself sorted out. He needs to get within range of me so his reps can apply. We'll have a look at the fit in a moment. He's basically got about 70 kilometer maximum range, and I think it's about 39 kilometer fall off, something like that, but we'll check when we look at the fitting screen. And he needs to stay close enough to me for the reps to apply, as they now are, but he really wants to be as far away from the rats as possible, so the other side of me from the rats, and you can see that's kind of where he's getting himself now. All manual piloting, the last thing you want to do is just to set an orbit on me and start trying to rep that way, because that's going to take you in close to the rats. You'll get more aggro than you deserve anyway. But what I'm very pleased to say is we certainly haven't had all of the aggro switch straight onto him when he started repping me. Yetvar being Yetvar, he's going to get his drones out at some stage, no doubt, and start applying some damage. He went with combat drones today rather than logistics drones. Why not? But so far, I was a little bit worried he might literally just get everything locking him up now. He's got quite a good range from the rats, as you can see, and he's applying reps to me. You can see the zeros that are registering in the middle of the screen. That's when I'm at full shield, so I don't need any reps, so I'm not taking any. It doesn't mean he's missing me, if you see what I mean. As you'll see when we're looking at my footage a little bit later, I get exactly the same readout, and it's because I'm at full shield. Now obviously in other situations, I'm thinking PvP, if you are the Logi, you're almost certainly going to get primaried. It depends how the fight's going, to be honest. Now you can see he's lost his lock on me, so I can't get any reps. I could be dying right now. That's because he's getting sensor damped. So he's going to click on the ship that is sensor damping him, holding X to broadcast the target. Unfortunately, the overview shifts there just as he clicks, and he doesn't notice that he's actually broadcast the wrong target. Not a big deal at all in this situation, but if things were a little bit dicey, you'd want to be a little bit more accurate with that kind of a thing. Here is the fit. We have got a trio of medium scoped remote shield boosters up in the high slots, sending out reps of 488 hit points every 8 seconds each. In the mid slots, we've got a Microwarpdrive, keep us moving around fast. We've got Cap Recharger 2s, we've got one compact large shield extender, we've got one Multispectrum shield hardener, a damage control 2 for capacitor power relays in the rest of the low slots. In the rig slots, we've got a medium EM hardener, one shield extender, and one capacitor control circuit to speed up the recharge even more. So simulated, we're cap stable. We've got a mighty 85.1 DPS. Not that that really matters. We've got 18,500 hit points. We're pumping out 182 hit points worth of shield reps a second. It costs about 22.5 million, about the 10th the expense of the Navy issue Drake. Not an expensive solution for keeping such an expensive ship alive, if it should ever come to that. I brought the fit screen in using like picture in picture. I hope enlarging it slightly has not made it illegible. The fit will be in the description. He's got his drones out fighting now and he's taking a little bit of damage. But let's have a look at the hull bonuses. They're pretty good numbers. For each level of minmitar cruiser, we're getting a 12.5% bonus to our remote shield booster amount and a 5% reduction in remote shield booster activation cost. So that's the drain on the capacitor. The roll bonus is a whopping 430% bonus to optimal range and fall off, and 100% bonus to logistic drone transfer amount. I should add that Yetfar does have very good skills as applicable to the Scythe, and also that he did remember to change his safety off of red. He's got me targeted, one misclick setting those drones on me, it all could get very messy. So yeah, if you're doing this in high sec, make sure your safety is set appropriately. I gave you a quick glimpse there of why I run an overview tab with no drones on it. If there's 2 or 3 of you in a fight or a situation with drones out, your overview gets so crammed. So something to think about if you start getting into some fleet actions. But unfortunately, as a Logi pilot, if you don't apply any damage with drones, or I guess you could do it with a target painter or such, you won't get on a kill mail. You may have saved the day, but if you don't apply any damage to the enemy or the rat, you won't get any mission reward, you won't get him on the kill mail, etc. As you can see, the loot here is very disappointing. We've got one of those lovely pink modules which pretty much doubles the loot from the entire first room. Those modules are quite abundant in low sec. In rats you can kill on the belts in a very cheap ship. See any of my alpha goes to low sec videos for details. I've run out of space. It's another help that I've got a friend here. Also, having somebody in a faster ship doing the Logi, it does mean if somebody did appear on grid to mess with the MTU, they've got a much better chance of dashing over there and grabbing the loot and the MTU, perhaps than I have in the Drake. So it might add to your little security situation. If the MTU killers are about, maybe this is something to try then. A little bit of added security. They might think twice if they see 2 of you on the D-scan up there anyway. Not much to fear in the second room, not at all. We'll be fine. We'd probably be fine solo, I'm sure we would be. But let's carry on with this experiment. I'll go ahead, get the aggro, he'll follow me in. There aren't really many ways to learn Logi if you're not just going to get battered off of grid by the rat aggro as soon as you start running Logi. Then maybe running some sites with a mate and being his Logi might be a good way to learn, because there is a little bit more to it than it seems, as I've said. The cruisers aren't the smallest option, they're not the entry level. Obviously we've got the logistics frigates for each race as applicable, shield or armor tank. So if you guys are interested to see more about Logi and kind of how to get into it and fits to use and stuff like that, then let me know in a comment. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the giveaway while I just get these guys going. And look at this very handsome raven skin. I really like this skin. It looks great on this ship. There you go. They're the winners of the last giveaway. I did manage to get the rupture skins and the molder skins to the right people. I'm quite pleased to say that. So well done you guys. But there's the guys that won last time. We got 6 of these to give away this week. Just leave a comment below, leave your in-game name in the comment. Really just how you use Logi. Have you ever thought of Logi? Are you interested to learn a little bit more about Logi? Have you used it yourself on a level 4, etc, etc. I think if you want to get into it, this is one of the ways you might learn it quite gently. You don't really want to be learning stuff in combat, as it were, until at least you know the basics. It's like no different from any other aspect of the game like that. Don't go and shoot rats in low sec until you know how to shoot rats in high sec, etc, etc. And our experiment here seems to be successful. You can of course put this to better use, or I should say different use really. Here's a PvP kill. Miss Finalizing is one of our alts. It's one we kind of share. People can't be sure who is flying it. We like it like that. Put on a bit of logistical support for the Orpheus that was having a bit of trouble tanking the VNI. Here we have, I've made this footage out of screenshots stuck back together. That's an Agora giving Capacitor to an Osprey that is repping a control tower. And you can then take that one step further, of course, and roll out in some spider tanking myrmidons, which is what we've got down in the corner right there, taking down an FOB. If we find another FOB, we'll do it again and record it. We did it so long ago, we lost the footage for ages. And we're not sure that the same fits would work, so we do want to check that. So if we've got a local FOB and some pesky rats, give us a shout. We might come and sort it out. Anyway, I'm flying straight at the rats now because I really don't care. The worst thing you would do in a normal situation is ever just approach the rats as I am now, because they can get the best damage application, as I'm sure you all know. The Scythe is getting shot at, but he's not really getting hit. You can see on our watch list he's got no damage, but we can see one of the rats shooting across the screen towards him. This experiment has most definitely been a success, I think. We shall certainly take this into one of the trickier missions. Maybe that mission where I spawned everything to see what happened. We'll do that with some Logi support. Maybe bring in 2 or 3 caracals and a Logi cruiser too. Might be a nice little small gang drill just to get you going. Low sec's a dangerous place to learn how to do things for the first time because of the interruptions, obviously. So I don't know, let me know what you think. I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say about Logi during PvE as just a training tool, a learning tool, as an actual method that you use quite regularly. Just a bit of a social event, you know. I think this make very good twin screen training. Get you going on that. And now we're going to close off with the best part of being in any kind of fleet is the fleet warp. So we get a nice tight bubble here. Let's see. When you have a nice bit of footage of a group of your fleet warping, it's quite a nice sight to behold. So we shall make our way back to the station. That was easy. It worked. The Logi ship did not get battered off the field. We'll be back to try this again in more taxing conditions. Let me know what you think. If you've enjoyed this, it's been useful, helpful, a combination of the two. Give it a like. Any comments down below. Remember to include your in-game name to be included in the giveaway. I'll be doing the giveaway giving out by the end of this week. But for now guys, take care of each other, fly safe, fly brave, and goodbye.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.